So today we're going to be talking about ratios and rates. Now the most important thing in ratio and rates is the word per. How many cats per house are in your housing estate? Maybe there's 2 cats per house. Oh, that's not cats. Cats will make more cats, so unless they go to the vet a bit, they're gonna make, within 6 months they're gonna make 6 cats per house or more. Okay, so how many Lego blocks in a set? How many biscuits are you gonna eat per day? How many, in your fruit bowl, how many grapes are there per apple? If you eat oranges, how many oranges are you going to eat per week? If I have little chocolates and I divide them by students, how many? Maybe I have 4 little chocolates per student. Can you see there are 2 very different units? The one is cats, and the one is houses. The other one is Lego blocks and a set, biscuits and a day, grapes and an apple, oranges and a week. 4 chocolates per student. Now sometimes I can have how many Lego blocks are there per set? Maybe there are 420 Lego blocks per set, we wish, per one set. Maybe I eat 4 biscuits in one day. Maybe I have 5 apples for every, grapes for every 2 apples. It's a strange ratio. How many oranges do I eat? I eat a lot of oranges per week. How many chocolates per one student? 4 chocolates per one student. So these can all be written as ratios. This can be 2 cats to 1 for every 1 house. This can be 420 Lego blocks per 1 set. This can be written as 4 biscuits for the 1 day. This can be written as 5 grapes for every 2 apples. This can be written as 6 oranges per week, and this can be written as 4 chocolates per student. But now what happens if, say for instance, I'm trying to measure how many biscuits I eat in 2 days? Not in 1 day. Now, you're obviously going to tell me, okay, well, it's obviously 8 biscuits. Here's my biscuits per day. You're obviously going to tell me it's 8 biscuits. But what did we do when we made the sum in our mind? Well, you said, well, 1 day is that, so 1 times 2 to get to 2 days, and the other side was 4 times 2, and I had 8 biscuits. What do I do if I've got 6 oranges per week? How many oranges do I eat in 4 weeks? So 4 weeks. And you say, well, I know my 6 times table, so I'm going to just tell you it's 24 oranges in 4 weeks. What did I really do? I had 1 week, and I said 1 times 4. And what I do to this side of the ratio, where's the 6 and 4? 6 and 1. What I do to this side of the ratio, I times it by 4. I've got to do to this side of the ratio as well, because this is kind of like a fraction, 6 over 1. And what I do to the bottom, I times it by 4, I do to the top. Then I didn't change the number, I just broke it up into smaller parts. And let's see how this works. In real life, we use this a lot, kilometers per hour. How many kilometers did I go in 1 hour? Maybe I went 3.5 kilometers or 5 kilometers. 5 kilometers seems a little bit better. Maybe I went 5 kilometers in 1 hour. How many kilometers did I do in 2 hours? Well, I'm doing 10 kilometers in 2 hours. What did I do? I times the one side by 2, and what I do to the one side of this ratio, I've got to do to the other. Now this is a ratio. We say I'm using this, but it's actually kilometers over hours as kind of a fraction. Or I can call this dividing line per kilometers per hour, grapes per apples, oranges per week, chocolates per student. Okay, and we use this quite often, kilometers per hour. Okay, if I spend at Comic-Con, if I spend for every 2 hours I spend 500 Rand, you must get me out of Comic-Con, because what am I going to spend in 10 hours? Well, for every 2 hours I spent 500. So 2 times what is 10? 2 times what is 10? 2 times 5. So 500 times 5. You're 2,500 Rand. Go to Comic-Con without money so you don't spend too much. Okay, so I have a ratio of pens to pencils in a box is 2 to 3. That means I got 2 pens and I've got 3 pencils. I've got 2 pens and I've got 3 pencils. 2 pens, 3 pencils. Okay, let's make this pencils a different color. Then, so for every 2 pens I got 3 pencils. So if I got a bundle like this, I've got 2 pens and I got 1, 2, 3 pencils, and that's my bundle. If there are 24 pens in the box, determine the amount of pencils. Now bear with me, I'm going to draw this out so that we can see what's happening. So I've got 2, 4, 6, I'm making bundles, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, I'm counting to 24, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay, so I've got 24 pens now. And let's see, let's just write these pencils in that blue. And let's see how many pencils we have. So for every, this means for every 2 pens, I have 3 pencils. So here we go. Every 2 pens. So all of these must be bundles of an extra 3. An extra 3. Because this is part to part. For every 2 pens, for every part of 2 pens, I've got 3 pencils. Part to part. Cats to houses. Now, let's see how many bundles I've made of this 2 to 3 to get to 24 purple lines or 24 pens. Let's see how many we've got here. And I can count them in ones. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I've got 36 pencils. Now, we're not going to draw this out every time so that we understand it every time, because we might work with very big numbers. But just like a fraction, what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. What I do to the top, I do to the bottom. This actually means 3 over 2 in fraction form. So what did I do to the purple? What did I do to the pens to get to 24? Well, how many groups do I have? How many groups do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 groups of those pencils to get 24, which means I times by 12. And the amount of pencils is exactly the same. It's going to be 12 groups. And what's 12 groups of 3 pencils? So 3 times 12 groups. 12 groups. And I'm going to say times 12, which would give me 36. Okay, so I timesed 12 to get to 36. So whatever I do to the one side of the ratio, I do to the other. So if you had to do this in class, you would go 2 to 3, put underneath the 2 a 24, and see what did I times by or divide by to get to 24. What did I times by or divide by to get to 36? Good. Okay, so Michael travels 480 kilometers in his car and uses 16 liters of petrol. Now, I've got 2 units. I've got distance and I've got petrol, liters of petrol. Okay. How many kilometers can he travel? Now, it said 9, but I prefer 8. How many kilometers can he travel with 8 liters of petrol? Now, in the previous example, we had 2 to 3, and I needed to get 24 to something. So what did I do here? Times by 12. 12 groups of that, which means I needed to times by 12. These were the smaller numbers, and these were the bigger numbers. Now I'm going from the bigger numbers. What if I had 24 to 36? And I need to simplify this ratio to 2 to something. Well, 24 divided by what will give me 2 divided by 12. What I do to the one side of the ratio, I do to the other, because they bring each other like groups. Can you see how we drew the groups before? So 36 divided by 12 will give me 3. And this looks very much like that. So I've got distance. I travel a distance per certain amount of liters of petrol. Okay, of petrol. And I've got 480 kilometers. Oh, this is very good petrol consumption, meaning they don't use a lot of petrol per liter. Remember the word per. We're working with per. And we need to do at least 20 or 30 of these examples to really get it, to get the hang of it. How many kilometers can he travel with 8 liters of petrol? So I've got 480 to 16, and I need 8 liters of petrol. How far can I travel with 8 liters of petrol? Well, what did I do to 16 to get to 8? You're right, I divided by 2. And what I do to the one side, I do to the other, and I divide it by 2. So he got 240 kilometers for 8 liters of petrol. Okay, so ratios and rates. Okay, so now we get to the interesting stuff. Now, in my ratio of, what was it, 4 apples, for every 4 apples I have 5 oranges. So I've got a ratio of 4 to 5. Now, what if I ask the question, how many fruits in total? I've got 9 fruit. And this is my part, and this is part. This is part to part. But how many apples of the fruit do I have? I've got 4 of the 9 fruits are apples. And how many oranges? 5 of the 9 fruit are oranges. And so we've got a part to a whole happening. Okay? So that's quite an interesting notion, because if I've got 3 different things, what if I've got 4 apples and 5 oranges, but what if I've got bananas? For every 3 bananas, and I see something on special at the shop and I go and buy bananas. For every 3 bananas, I got 4 apples and I got 5 oranges. And I buy a few of these specials at the shops. I buy a certain amount of these specials. And I see that in total, altogether, I have 48 fruit. In total, I've got 48 fruit. And then I say, but how many? I've got 48 fruits, and I'm not sure how many bundles of this. Maybe this cost me. How much would this cost? 30 Rand, 40 Rand, 35 Rand. Maybe this would cost 35 Rand. To get 3 bananas, 4 apples, 5 oranges, it would only be 35 Rand. And I've got 48 fruits in total, but how much did I spend, or how many bundles did I have? So let's draw this stuff. I've got 3 bananas for every bundle of fruits that I buy for 35 Rand. I got 3 bananas. Then I've got let's use that. Then I've got 4 apples. 1, 2. Green, please. I want green apples. I'm not a fan of. I like the green apples. Okay. Then I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I've got 5 oranges. Let's grab an orange. I've got 5 oranges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many fruit do I have all together in this bundle? So that I don't have to do that until I count, so that I can count in groups. Counting in groups helps me a lot. Okay, we like to count in groups. That's what times tables are. So these are times tables. So how many fruit do I have as a whole in each bundle? I have 3 plus 4 plus 5. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. So each bundle has 12 fruits in it. So each bundle has 12 fruits in it. Now I can draw that out a few times and go, okay, we counted to 12. Let's do this again. And where are we counting to? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Now I've got another 12, which is 24. I know you know what direction this is heading in. Then I got another 1, 2, 3 bananas. 3 bananas. 4 apples. 1, 2. You're gonna be so healthy. You're gonna be wanting bananas and apples for dessert after this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I've got 5 oranges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in total I've got 12 in that bundle. And then I make another bundle. So I go 1, 2, 3 bananas. And I go, here we go. 1, 2, give us some green, please. I like green apples. Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got another 12. It's much easier to say, I've got 12 in total fruit in this ratio of 3 to 4 to 5. Instead of, and I know you know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm saying what you're thinking. What if I just times that 12 by 4 to get to 48? In other words, why didn't I just go 48 divided by 12 gives me 4. I've got 4 packets that I bought for $35 at the shop. Okay, so I got 4 packs of fruit. So I didn't need to draw it all, but how can we do that algebraically? How do we do that algebraically? Well, we work out how many total fruit or total parts. These bananas are part of this. This is a part of the whole bundle. This is a part of the whole bundle. How about I work out how many total parts I have? I have 3 here, I have 4 here, I have 5 here. The part of it is the fruit. But I have 12 total fruit or 12 total parts. Then I need to get to 48 fruit. I go from 12 parts. I add them up. I go from 12 parts. How many of these 12 parts do I need to have to get to 48? Well, I say 12 times how many groups is 48. And we can do this simply in our mind because we know the 4 times table, or we can say 48 divided by 12 gives me 4 bundles of fruits. So if they tell me that I've got 48 fruits, how many are bananas? Now I can go and do this and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I can say, well, I had 12 bananas. Then apples, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I want a green. I can go 16 apples to get to 48. Then I can say oranges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, 20 oranges. What did I do from 3 to get to 12? I times 4. From 4 to get to 16, I times 4. Can you see everything is times by the same, by 4. Everything is times by the same number. So if I've got 48, I'm going to find out how many fruits total I have in that bundle and say 48 divided by that gives me what I times or divided by to get to the big one. Now, let's do something very easy, and I know you're going to know the answer. But what if I had 96 fruits and I needed you to tell me what ratio, how many bananas I have, how many apples I have, and how many oranges I have? Well, we can do this algebraically instead of drawing the whole thing out until we get to 96 because we've got times tables. So I'm going to say 3 to 4 to 5. If I've got 96, which is 12, if I've got 96 total, I'm going to say 96 divided by 12 equals, what's 8 times 12? 96. So I've got 8 bundles, and that computes. But what did I do actually? I timesed everything by 8. times 8 times 8. Now this is a very elaborate way of saying, how many bananas do I have? 3 times 8 is 24 bananas. How many apples do I have per 96 fruit? I've got 4 times 8 is 32. How many oranges do I have per 96 fruits in this ratio? Of this 35 Rand special that I've got. 8 times 5 is 40. Let's add those up. 24 and 32 is 56. 56 and 40 is 96 fruits. So I'm going to have 24 bananas, 32 apples, and apples. Give me some green, please. Apples and 40 oranges. 40 oranges. And I can go on and on and on. If I would have bought 100 bags, I would times this by 3. So this 3 by 100, and this 4 by 100, and everything that I do to the one I do to the others. Okay, so this is kind of a weird one. Divide this number in the ratio 2 to 5 to 7. Now how many parts are there in the whole? How many fruit? Not bananas, not apples, everything all together. Well, I'm going to say 2 plus 5 plus 7, which is going to give me 14. So there are 14 parts to this. And in the same way, it's almost like I have Sam and Katrina and Mpho. Sam, Katrina, and Mpho. And I've got the most huge amount of jelly tots ever in the world. Not really, but the 1,820 is a lot of jelly tots. For every 2 that Sam gets, Katrina gets 5 and Mpho gets 7. Now I've got to divide this thing up into that number. What do? I find how many parts in the whole. How many parts in the whole? How many parts in the whole? So there are 14 parts in the whole. So I'm going to divide 1,820 into 14 parts. And how many parts am I going to get? How much is it per part? Well, you're going to put that in on your calculator and you're going to get equals 130. 130 per part. But now, Sam has got 2 parts. Of that 14 parts I divided this number into, she's got 2. So what's 2 times 130? 260. Katrina has, so she gets 260 jelly tots. Katrina has 5 parts. Maybe she got an A in math, and so we decided to give her more because she worked harder on her homework. So Katrina got 5 parts, and there were 130 per part. So she got 650 because 5 times 12 is 60 plus another 5, which is 65. Add a 0. 7 times 12 is 84 plus another 7 is 91. So Mpho got 910 jelly tots. I don't know what she's going to do with 910 jelly tots, but this is the ratio that they get divided into. Sam got a little bit. Katrina got way more. Mpho is the mother. Mpho can get all the jelly tots she wants to, because in the end, it's probably her jelly tots. So when I add the numbers up again. 260, 650, 910. When I add them up again, I'm going to get 1820. Okay, means I divided them up into 2 parts, to 5 parts, and to 7 parts. And the what we talk about the most here is parts. And how much is 1 part? Okay, so we need to do at least 20 exercises in this to really get the knack of this. Okay, Tim and Mpo. Hello, we got Mpo again. Tim and Mpo buy a box containing 20 Easter eggs. The cost of the box is 240 Rand. Tim contributes 180 Rand and Mpo the balance, meaning Mpo is 240 minus 80, 180, which is 60. Okay. So I've got Tim, in terms of money, I've got Tim to Mpo, and Tim is 180 and Mpo is 60. And this is in rands. How many Easter eggs will each of them receive? Meaning Tim put in 3 times as much as Mpo put in. So he should probably get 3 times as much. But let's do the calculations. How do we do the calculations? I know as a whole, I've got 20 Easter eggs. That means I'm dividing 20 Easter eggs into a ratio of 180 to 60. Now, just like a fraction, if I've got 180 over 60, I'm going to simplify that. First thing I can do is divide by 10, top and bottom. I divided by 10, divided by 10, I lost a 0. Then, but both, you've got to divide both the top and the bottom, not just one. Okay, then I'm thinking 180 to 6. Then I'm going to divide that thing by 3, because I can see 3 as a factor. You've got to do both sides. So 18 divided by 3 is 6 to 2. Now I can see this is not a prime yet. It's not I can still divide 2 and 6. So I can go 3, 6 divided by 2, both sides. I can go 3 to 1. Now 3 to 1 is, we also talk about it in terms of 4 of a fraction. 3 to 1. Okay, so 3 to 1. Now I've got my ratio in its simplest form, and I can kind of work on this operation. How many Easter eggs did I have in total? I had 12. I had 20. So I had 20 Easter eggs. But how do I divide them? Well, how many parts are in my ratio? Well, I say 3 plus 1 equals, I've got 4 parts. I'm breaking the amounts of Easter eggs up into 4 parts. So I'm going to divide 20 up into 4 parts. Note, I don't say 20 divided by 3 and then add some weird number, and I don't know what this is, 7,6 or 6,6, and then I got to find who does this. No, you're going to divide the whole number, like we did the 1280, by how many parts we have. So 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. 5, I've got 5 Easter eggs per part. I've got each part, 5 in each part. 5 in each part. Now, how many parts does Tim get? Well, he gets 3, but I've got 5 per part. So I say 3 times the part to 1. What does Mpo get? 1 times the part. Now, you'll understand there's a lot more doing it more. So you've got to do at least 20 sums in this to really get it down. So I've got 15, Tim got 15, and Mpho got 5. And how many parts total do I have here? Well, I have 20 Easter eggs. So Tim got 15, Mpho got 5, which gives me 15 plus 5 equals 20. Good job.